everyone, Morey Croson here, and we have a brand new breakdown for you today. It's going to be on Justin Herbert, one of the best rookie quarterbacks in the NFL last year. And, really, I did a breakdown on him in the past. I did one when he was in college and also one with his combine. And both of them, I don't think, really did him justice in really showing what he does great as a quarterback. So I thought today I'd really go into his mechanics here. So as always, if you like the information, go ahead and click the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave those down below. We'll hop in the video right now. All right, so first one here, he has plenty of overall space. And I was thinking about going and doing the just kind of looking at his release first, just because I think that's always something that we like to see. So he's at 7.367 when the ball's coming out right here, or when he starts, and then it's out by 1.74. Is it the 1.4? So pretty quick there, 0.33 in terms of how fast he is at getting the ball out of his hands. He's not necessarily trying to put a lot on this ball, still gets it out pretty early. I'm always talking about this a lot more with quarterbacks, is being able to get that ball all the way out in front of you in order to really make sure that you're able to get plenty of wrist flick. I think that is a big problem with quarterbacks, is that they don't get the football out in front of them enough, which impacts how well they can actually impact the ball as it's coming out of their hands, or how much of a flick they're able to have on the ball when it comes out of their hands. Another big thing with Justin Herbert is, he's similar to Jay Cutler in that front arm, where you can see he really allows that front arm to get out in front, and then he pulls that thing hard to really help him get that momentum coming all the way through, and then is able to get a lot of extension through the throw, and utilizing his arm, his front arm, to really pull that elbow through and his spine through, to make sure that he's able to get a lot more on the throw. And it's something that, obviously I'm not comparing him to Jay Cutler from a performance perspective, but with how he generates force with his body, it's a very, very similar type of action that he's doing. He's not getting as much rotation at the hips. We see like guys like Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, who really get a lot of emphasis in rotation out of the hips. You can tell that he gets extension out of that back leg, so he definitely uses the back leg in order to get his momentum going, but he doesn't utilize that as a primary force of rotation. He actually utilizes that front arm and being able to create rotation within the front arm to be able to get his hips around and his upper body around, and that, I think, really helps him in being able to generate a lot of force in the throw. It seems like that's like one of the key things. That was an absolute beautiful throw right there. I mean, he had pressure in his face and was still able to put that right on the money. We'll go here. This one, you can see he does end up getting a little bit more rotation to kind of start off, right? Pushes off that back leg hard, gets that rotation, gets those hips going. But again, has a lot of spine rotation, has a lot of ability to move through that part of his body. And I think that's super important for quarterbacks to understand, is being able to really maximize how well they can use their obliques, how well they can use their lats, how well they can use some of those muscles that have a huge impact on rotational movement and being able to throw further. Because if you don't have that ability to really open up within that front hip and within your spine, that really impacts how well you can throw the ball. Let this one go a little bit more full speed. Doesn't get too big of a stride, right? But he's just really stable on that front ankle, that front side. That was another good ball. This one is an interesting one, and this is something that, I think is super important for quarterbacks to understand as well, and something that I've been, kind of in a crossroads with myself, just because I think that, at the end of the day, we can get so caught up in all the different parts of the throwing mechanics and making sure that everything is as perfect as you possibly can. And I do think there is some justification for that, to be able to really maximize how well you're able to develop the shoulder and develop the arm strength, because there's a part of it where, you have to be able to throw the right way in order to, build up the ligaments and the tendons and the muscles to be able to, continue to build arm strength, whether that is in the shoulder, whether it's in the core, whether it's in the lower body. So it's important, but then there's a lot of times where it's like, you just have to be able to throw on time. So if we look at this full view, Keenan Allen did a great job of getting separation here. Obviously they're bringing everybody. They only got 3 guys back here to cover. Okay, and Keenan Allen gets open, and he knows that he doesn't have very much time to get rid of the ball. So now he totally steps off to the side here and goes back to what we were talking about before, where he just reaches really far out with that front arm. And by reaching really far out with that front arm, is then able to create the rotation needed to be able to get the ball, out of his hands at the right time, and still puts the ball right on the guys. This is why he's an NFL quarterback, guys, right? He's able to throw the ball 25 yards, basically all arm, puts the ball on the line and hits the guy right in the face mask, right? So you have to be able to, and that goes into wrist flick. That goes into positioning of the shoulder. Look at that external rotation that he gets in the arm, right? As he's coming through. We talk about external rotation. We talk about being able to get the ball out in front of you before you release it, right? Here it's still in his hand. Then he releases. He flicks the ball with a lot of force behind it, and those are the key things to make it so you're able to generate the force just purely out of the arm. If you don't use the arm correctly, then whatever you do in the rest of the body, whatever you do in your front leg, all that stuff doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to have a strong arm, you have to have a strong wrist flick, you have to be able to, just muster up some of these throws, and then there's going to be times you're going to be able to put your full body into it, but there's also going to be times, especially the higher levels that you go, you're going to have to just be able to make a play. And I think this is an excellent example of not always needing the best mechanics, but still going to some of the key fundamentals to be able to make it so you're able to still execute on a play, score a touchdown when your team needs it really badly here late in the game, in order to stay in the game. All right. So as always, guys, thanks for watching these videos. If you have any questions, you can leave those down below in the comment section. And I highly recommend you guys check the description out down below. We have a huge deal going right now where you can get access to 1 month of programs. You get 1 month of like unlimited breakdowns and quarterback university. It's really something that I've never offered such a great deal before. I highly recommend you guys checking that out, especially if you guys are going into your off season and want to be able to improve your mechanics overall and have a program to be able to help you do that. And we have a few different things going where you can get a free ebook. We have just a lot of things available for quarterbacks to be able to succeed, and also quarterback coaches. If you're a quarterback coach and want to be able to get more resources for that, we'd be happy to help you out with that as well. Check that all down in the description, or you can also contact me, which my contact information is below as well. All right? As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.